What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. All right. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, one of LSU fans' favorites, right? A man who was as critical to the 2019 national championship as anyone on that team, returning to the boot. As the New Orleans Saints have picked Clyde Edwards-Helaire up, they've put him on the practice squad. And before you get into what he can do to help the team, again, I just want to celebrate Clyde, right? One of the great champions of the boot. Critical, like I said, in 2019, probably had the greatest quote ever, throw your heart across the line and the body will follow. Taylor mentioned the Alabama game, whether it's some of those touchdowns late, the third and 8 conversion catch where he gets it like he catches it at his shoestrings. I mean, massive play after massive play in a game where you had to have it. He goes on to the NFL. He has 2 Super Bowl rings. Legend in every sense of the word. And here's to hoping that he can find both mental and physical success here, because obviously one of his he's been dealing, and he's on the record of saying this. It's not exposing anything. He was on the non-football injury list earlier this year, dealing with some PTSD from an incident in which there was an attempted robbery with him and a teammate back in college, and a gun was pulled on him, and Clyde defended himself and ended up, like I said, defending himself and killing the assailant. No legal trouble because he's right with his rights, but that's something that I think it's impossible to go through and not emerge the other side unscathed. And sometimes it might take years to come out, right? And so he's been dealing with it, internalizing it, and it seems like he took some time for it this year. And so I hope, again, that healing process continues for one of the most beloved Tigers and great champions of the boot. My question to you, Jake, is only a few games, 3 games left of this football season. This is very late in the game. Practice squad, AKI, does he have a role? Do you see him actually on a game day field at some point this year?
I think he could. I mean, when you look at what you have available and what he can bring to the table, he's a veteran player. He can learn the offense pretty quickly. And again, it's a running back position, so it's not like it's quarterback. There's not as much. You can give him 5 plays. You tell him what your protection is. Hey, here's our sub protection. Here's what we call it. 4 down, Mike's 55. You got everybody else. Yep. I mean, so those things are things that I think a veteran player like Clyde could learn, depending on, how much they want to see of him. And, do they have a future plan? Like, hey, we feel like we kind of got this guy, obviously, under the radar. We feel like there's some value that he could bring to us and what we're trying to get done. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. He can go out there. I don't know how many games, if it's all 3 games, if it's 2 games, if it's 1 game, whatever it is, but he can get on the field and then, maybe have a conversation of trying to bring him back.
If you sign on Wednesday, there's no way he'll be on the game day roster Sunday, no? Or you're saying you think he potentially could?
No, Wednesday's late. If it was even if it was Monday with a day off in which, so I signed with Denver on a Monday, but I had that Tuesday. So I had Monday practice, do the whole deal, but I had all day Tuesday. Brock Osweiler had to meet me at the facility, and he had to go over everything with him. He's a rookie. He was a backup quarterback, and so he had to meet me there. We were there all day long. You don't have that extra all day long day, so maybe not. Wednesday does feel kind of late, but not this week, but next week he potentially could be on the field.
And when you think about where, I want to talk Kendre Miller later, but when you think about where Kendre Miller struggles, it's pass protection. Clyde's a veteran. As Jake said, maybe you bring him in, he becomes that third down option. Not entirely sure. But nonetheless, regardless, I'm just happy that Clyde Edwards-Helaire going to be back in the boot. And in a season where there's not a ton to play for or look forward to from a Saints standpoint, we'll talk Packers coming up as well. It's nice to maybe, what if Clyde has a moment at the end of this year? That could be a silver lining to an otherwise kind of lost season for the New Orleans Saints and Who Dat Nation. So shout out Clyde. Welcome home. Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.